My name is Lily. I am 27 years old. I live in a small town near the mountains. My life is not easy. Every morning I wake up with fear. Every night I cry in silence. I want to leave this life, but I don't know where to go. When I was a little girl, my world was happy. My mother sang to me at night. She cooked warm food and kissed my forehead before bed. My father worked at a bakery. He brought home sweet bread and smiled when he saw me. I had one little brother. His name was Max. He was kind and always followed me everywhere. But when I was 9 years old, everything changed. One morning my father left home and never came back. We waited for hours, then days, then weeks. My mother cried every night. I was too young to understand. People said my father had run away with another woman. My mother never believed it. She sat at the window every day waiting. Then, 2 years later, my mother got sick. She became very thin. Her skin turned pale. She stopped smiling. She did not have the strength to cook or clean. I started doing everything: washing clothes, cooking simple food, taking care of Max. I was only 11, but I felt like a mother. One night, my mother called me to her bed. She took my hand and said, "Lily, you are strong. Take care of your brother. Be brave." That was the last thing she ever said to me. The next morning she was gone. After that, everything got worse. An uncle came to take care of us. He was my father's brother. His name was Robert. At first, he seemed okay. He brought food. He paid the rent. He told us to go to school. But soon Robert changed. He started drinking every day. He got angry fast. He shouted at us for small things. If Max dropped a spoon, Robert screamed. If I came home late, he threw things at the wall. One night, he slapped me. I was so scared I couldn't sleep. The next day, he acted like nothing happened. I wanted to run away, but I had no place to go. I was just a child. I didn't know anyone outside my small town. I didn't have money or friends. I stayed for Max. He was only 8. He needed me. Years passed. I learned how to stay quiet. I cooked food before Robert came home. I kept the house clean. I didn't speak unless he asked me something. I learned how to survive. When I turned 16, I met a boy named Alex. He worked at the small store near my school. He had light brown eyes and a soft voice. He always said hello. One day he gave me a candy and said, "You look sad. Are you okay?" I wanted to cry, but I just nodded. Alex started waiting for me outside school. We talked about little things, books, music, dreams. He told me he wanted to travel. He said he hated the town and wanted to see the world. I told him I wanted the same. He smiled and said, "Then come with me." At first I was scared, but I wanted to be free. I wanted to feel safe. I told Max I would come back for him. I left, a note under his pillow. Then, one cold evening, I left Robert's house and ran to Alex. Alex lived in a small room behind the store. It wasn't big, but it felt like heaven. He made me tea. He gave me a warm blanket. He told me I was safe now. Believed him. For a few weeks I was happy. We walked in the fields. We watched the stars. We talked about the future. I thought I had found love. But one day, Alex lost his job. He started getting angry. He sat at home all day drinking beer. He said I didn't understand his pain. He said I was lucky to have him. Then, one night, he pushed me. I fell and hit my head. He said, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean it." I believed him. I didn't want to go back to Robert. I had nowhere else to go. But Alex did it again. And again, he became just like Robert, shouting, breaking things, calling me names. I felt small. I felt weak. But I stayed. I thought maybe I could fix him. I thought maybe he would change. When I turned 18, I found out I was pregnant. I was scared, but also happy. I thought, maybe this will change him. Maybe he will love the baby and stop drinking. But Alex didn't stop. He got worse. When I told him I was pregnant, he threw a glass at the wall and said, "Are you trying to trap me?" I cried all night. I wanted to leave, but I had no money, no home, no one to help. One night, he hit me so hard I could not stand. I lay on the floor holding my belly. I was scared for my baby. The next day, I went to the local clinic. The nurse looked at me and said, "You need help." She gave me a card with the name of a women's shelter. That night, while Alex was asleep, I packed a small bag and left. The shelter was in another town. It was a quiet place with 10 other women. Some had children, some had black eyes, some had broken hearts. But they were all like me, looking for peace. I stayed at the shelter until my baby was born. A little boy. I named him Noah. He had my eyes and dark hair. I held him and cried. I whispered, "I will never let anyone hurt you." Life was not easy, but I worked hard. The shelter helped me find a job at a bakery. I made bread in the morning and came back to feed Noah in the evening. I lived in a small room with one bed, one table, and 2 chairs. It was simple, but it was mine. For a while, I felt strong. I smiled more. I took Noah to the park. I read books at night. I didn't think about Alex or Robert. I tried to forget the past. But then, one day, Alex found me. I was walking home from the bakery. I heard a voice. Behind me, Lily. I turned. My heart stopped. It was him. He looked tired. His clothes were dirty. He smelled like alcohol. He smiled and said, "I missed you." I didn't speak. I didn't move. He said, "I've changed. I don't drink anymore. I want to see my son." I said, "No." He grabbed my arm. "Please, just once." I pulled away and ran. That night I couldn't sleep. I held Noah close. I locked the door. I cried in silence. I was afraid again. I went to the police the next day. I told them everything. They said they would help. but I still felt scared. Since that day, I live with fear again. I look over my shoulder. I check the doors twice. I don't let Noah out of my sight. I don't know if Alex will come back. I don't know if he will try to take my baby. I want to be free. I want to feel safe again. But I don't know how. I still go to work. I still smile for Noah. But inside, I feel broken. Some nights, I cry when he sleeps. I whisper, "I'm sorry. I wish I was stronger." I don't know what the future will bring, but I hold on to one hope, that one day I will not be afraid anymore. Some days I feel strong. Other days I feel like I'm falling apart. I try to be a good mother. Every morning I make breakfast for Noah. He loves toast with honey. He laughs when I make funny faces with his food. His smile gives me hope. But inside, I am still scared. I always check the windows. I always look behind me when I walk home. I moved to a new room in the shelter, but I don't feel safe. I still hear Alex's voice in my head. I see his face in my dreams. I wake up with my heart beating fast. One day, the shelter manager asked me, "Lily, do you want to see a counselor?" I said no at first. I didn't want to talk about the past. I thought talking would make the pain stronger. But a week later, I said yes. Her name was Julia. She had kind eyes and a soft voice. She asked me about my life. I told her everything, from my father to Robert to Alex. She didn't cry. She didn't look shocked. She just listened. She said, "You are brave, Lily. You survived. You are still here." No one had ever said that to me before. We met every week. I started to feel lighter, like I was not alone. I learned that it was not my fault. I learned that love is not pain. I learned that I deserve peace. Noah turned 2 years old. He was walking and talking. He called me Mama and kissed my cheek. Every night, he loved to sing. He danced in circles when I played music. He made the world bright again. Sometimes, late at night, I still wake up in a cold sweat. The shadows on the wall remind me of old fears, but I no longer freeze. I sit up, take a deep breath, and remind myself, I am safe. Noah is safe. Daniel sleeps beside me now. Gentle, steady. He never questions my silence. He holds me when I need it and gives me space when I don't have words. Noah is growing fast. He loves to draw. He paints the sun with smiling faces, trees with purple leaves, and always a little house with yellow walls. He calls it our happy home. Every time I see his drawings, my heart heals a little more. I still volunteer at the shelter. I sit with women who are just beginning their journey, eyes filled with pain, hearts heavy with fear. I tell them, "You are not broken, you are beginning again." Some cry. Some don't believe me. I understand. I was them once. One day, Julia, my counselor, said, "Lily, have you thought about writing a book?" I laughed. Me? A book? But that night I couldn't sleep. I sat at my small kitchen table, opened a notebook, and wrote the words, "My name is Lily. I survived." Page by page, I poured it all out. The fear, the love, the losses, the hope. I wrote about the days I couldn't breathe and the nights I found strength. I wrote for the girl I once was and the women I meet every week. Months passed. The book became real. A local publisher read it and called me. She said, "Your story will help others. Let's share it." The day I held the first copy in my hands, I cried, not because of the pain it carried, but because it proved I survived it. At the book launch, Daniel stood beside me. Noah sat in the front row, swinging his feet, grinning like the sun. When I finished reading the last paragraph aloud, the room was silent. Then, one woman stood and clapped. Then another. Then everyone. Afterward, a young woman came to me, tears in her eyes. She whispered, "Your story gave me the courage to leave." That's when I knew. Every scar, every tear, every sleepless night, it was not in vain. I still have hard days. Some mornings, I stare at the mirror and wonder if I'm strong enough. But then I hear Noah's laughter. I feel Daniel's hand in mine. I remember the girl who once ran barefoot into the night, chasing freedom. And I whisper to her, "You made it. I'm proud of you."